Hello, Dr. Didi.
Hey, I'm finally in. Golly.
Awesome. Do you like our background here?
You know what? My screen is frozen. I can hear you, but my screen is frozen, so I can't even see.
Oh, really? You want to get back, get out and get back in?
Mm, how do I even do that? It says connecting. I hear some kind of music in the background.
Yeah, that's the ambient music I have for the live.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. I was like in some kind of waiting room somewhere.
Awesome. You look great, Dr. Didi.
Thank you. I can't see you, but thank you.
I know, I know. So Dr. Didi here is a brand new mom, and I applaud her for running the business along with having a new baby and two other babies.
Yep.
Love it. Awesome. Is it working now?
Oh, here we go. Yes.
You like
Awesome.
the background I fixed?
Yes, I love it.
Isn't that so cool?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Awesome.
all right, Dr. Didi. So, do you see my hat? Look at that.
Ah, you look very Friday. Friday and chill.
Yes, that's the whole theme. And then I found the perfect hat for our call.
Perfect. I can't even see. What does it say?
It
Come
says,
closer.
let that shit go.
Exactly. That's exactly what we need to do. Let it go.
Let it go. So, let's get started. I'm gonna share your presentation in a minute, but introduction. Dr. Didi is we have a lot of noise from the baby.
In the background? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, awesome. So let me introduce Dr. Didi. She is a pharmacist by trade and a functional practitioner by passion. So when we met about a year ago, she was like, wow, how did you get into functional medicine? And I would like to
Yeah.
do the same. And that's
Mhm.
how we connected and became partners and started doing different things together. Now we have a team in Texas
Yep.
that's growing, and Dr. Didi is this year is her commitment to her functional medicine practice because you also help people with other things in finance world. So
Mhm.
that's very unique.
Yeah, and that's exactly what kind of attracted me to you because I was looking for a change, and I don't even know how you popped up on my screen. I guess I searched functional medicine something, and when I found you, it was like not only were you a pharmacist, you're in functional medicine, plus you also do finance. I'm like, wow, we are meant to,
We were
connect.
meant
So
to be partners, basically.
exactly. So, yeah, and you've been a great mentor. You give freely. You don't expect anything back, but then you also get blessed in so many other different ways. I appreciate our friendship and our business and everything that we're doing. So yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. Such a
Mhm.
great feeling, right? Like I just made a post yesterday about having this entrepreneur community that stands by each other. And if you have any questions, you can call me and I'll be transparent. I'll tell you the
Yeah.
right thing.
Mhm.
Like that's huge. We can't find people like that. So
Oh
that's why
no.
Functional Wellness Network is such a unique community.
Mhm.
And that's why you bring your people to it too, because it's a great place that you can trust to grow.
Exactly. Yep. I do. Mhm.
Awesome. So, why did you pick detox, Dr. Didi? And I would love for you to share what you
Yeah.
do for, especially for women. Like I know you are big into women's health because you
Mhm.
suffered. So I want to kind of lead into the detox about like how you got into functional medicine, why you picked the field you picked, and what's your why.
Yes. So thank you for the great introduction. Like she said, my name is Dr. Ndidi Eham. I'm a functional medicine practitioner, pharmacist, entrepreneur. Also in the finance world, I help people build their wealth and pass on a legacy. But specifically in regards to functional medicine, I help women who suffer from PCOS symptoms reverse their symptoms, of acne, weight gain, insulin resistance, problems with fertility, menstrual issues. And I help them do that without needing medications or any kind of fad diets. So the reason why I, chose this topic is, I seen that, just talking to different people in regards to their health, and even myself, using myself as an example, I saw that you could try so many different things, but if you don't start by cleansing out what you already have built up, it's not gonna work. I've been at certain times in my life, I've been at a certain weight where I was like, okay, let me try and get back down, let me lose some weight. And sometimes I've been at my smallest and I still wasn't healthy. You could see me, maybe I look thinner, but I wasn't healthy. I was still having a lot of breakouts and acne, and just eating very poorly. Even if when I do try to eat clean, you still need to go back to the basics to clean it out. It's just like, if you have a house and the house is dirty and you try to like, put, make it smell nice and all this stuff, but because it's dirty, you're not going to get the benefit of the ambience or whatever it is that you're trying to
Right,
create.
right. You still have to do some rigorous cleaning,
Yep.
and I totally get it. Like deep cleaning versus superficial cleaning versus just like doing candles and like still leaving the trash. It's
Mm-hmm.
a three level step, and I think with our life and our body, you're so right. We're not paying attention to detox enough.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the first step before you even start saying, "Oh, I'm gonna start doing this supplement. I'm gonna start, um, exercising," but your body might not even be ready to absorb the goodness that you're doing. Because it's backed up. It's like a computer when it's like backed up and you don't do updates, it starts acting crazy, which kind of was what was going on with my computer this morning. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's why detoxing and cleansing is very important.
absolutely. So, would you say, as a functional practitioner, you start your clients with detox first because we have to pay attention to what we have been storing for years in our body?
Yes, definitely. It's very essential. Like nutrition, diet is like the forefront of everything. So before I started telling you, oh, take this or do that, or uh, uh, you know, try to stop doing this, I have to see, okay, how do you even eat? Let's start from there, and then why don't we try to like clear out some of this stuff from your body? So whatever it is that we're trying to replace it with, it accepts it, because even us with our organization with Pharmanex, we have the scanner which tells you in 30 seconds what your nutritional value is, or what you've been doing in the last 60 days. So I've seen people who work out a lot and they place their hand on that scanner, and the scanner is telling them you're in the red or you're in the yellow, and they're like, well, I eat healthy, I work out. What is other things too. Maybe you do all that, you eat clean, but your intestine, because you've had so many years of like eating poorly and you never really like went in to clear it out, the new things that you're trying to replace, they don't know where to go, because your intestines, everything is your gut, everything is messed up. It's not letting new things to adhere to it, so it affects the absorption. So definitely nutrition and how we eat, and just clearing out the bad from our gut helps in so many ways.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why it's really important that we pay attention to, how much water we've had, like what kind of, how many times we use the restroom. Like, so being pharmacists, we meet so many people, and then they haven't gone to the bathroom for days.
Mm.
I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah, that is so interesting, because even with like in functional medicine, where it's taught that every meal should follow with a bowel movement, right? So actually, you should be going 3 times a day, But if you go once a day, then at least that's okay. But not going at all, then that's a big problem. Yeah.
And we've seen that, haven't we seen that in our practical settings?
Oh yeah. Oh
People
yeah.
frantically looking for enemas. Like, I think
Hmm.
that's kind of scary when I see those people. There's many more out there that have just accepted that they only go a couple times a week.
Yeah, that's crazy. And when I was little, I used to think that me going once a day, that was like okay, or not like having to go every time. I thought I was clean when I didn't have to go all the time. I was like, oh, I have nothing in my body that's bad that needs to come out. But that was not the right way of thinking. So no, every time you eat, you should actually have a bowel movement at least once a day. If you've not gone in 2 days, 3 days a week, there's some serious problem there now. You have to get it out.
Wow,
Yeah.
awesome. So why did you pick women's health, and why are you so passionate about functional medicine?
Yeah, so why I picked women's health, specifically using functional medicine, growing up, even before I heard anything functional medicine or just, natural health or whatever. When I started having my periods at age of 12, I had very, very bad experiences, like nothing about having a cycle or I equated it to pain. I was in a lot of pain. Worse for me because I didn't grow up with my mom, so I didn't have like that motherly figure to be like, this is how it normally is. So for me, I was just growing up with other people's experiences. But the funny thing is, no one around me, none of my family, female, nobody had experienced the things that I was going through. So for them, it was just a normal thing. It was like, hey, congrats, you're a woman. I'm like, I don't like it because I'm in so much pain every single month. And then then I'll be taking a leave. So from the age of 12 up until when I actually had my first pregnancy, that was like a 16 or maybe an 18-year span. Every single month, I was on a leave or ibuprofen or Tylenol. In fact, Tylenol didn't even work because it's like it got to a point where your body it gets so used to the medications
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
when I take ibuprofen, if I wasn't taking like 800 milligrams, nothing was gonna happen. you know. So
Wow.
going through
You
that,
know
and
how
then it came.
detrimental it is to your gut lining?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And for me, when it came time to start having babies, I was having miscarriages, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's all these years of like using NSAIDs or I was having serious breakouts. So I knew something was going on inside, and I would try to eat clean and eat healthy. But just like I said, if you're not like going back to clean something out before you start doing those things, it won't really work. So what me eating clean was doing for me, it was controlling my weight. But other things like hormonal imbalances that I had, it wasn't working because something else was in there. Other things that needed to come out before those things worked. So when I found out about functional medicine and there was a way to do all these things to control your symptoms to reverse it without medications, because keep in mind, like I said, I've been using like NSAIDs for like 18 years or so since I was 12. I was like, man, there's a way I could actually eat healthy like the way I normally like to eat, but then there's a system to it. And I know there are other women out there who must be going through the same thing, maybe issues with their menstrual cycles or miscarriages, fertility issues. You're having problems with like fatigue was another problem that I had a lot of. So everything starts with nutrition. So once I found functional medicine, I studied it. I'm like, man, they don't teach us this in pharmacy school. We don't
No, they
learn
don't want
this.
you to know. They don't
Yeah,
want you to
even though
know.
we're the medication experts, we're actually taught in school to tell people that we're just managing the system. Never tell them you could cure them or anything. We're just managing, and that's the way big pharma makes those medications to manage. They don't make it for you to be free of your disease state or diabetes or whatever. So my focus now is helping women with PCOS, with those symptoms that I experienced on my own, and try to save somebody else. Because let me tell you, that pain that I was feeling with like every month having to be on NSAIDs, I will take ibuprofen. The pain will be so excruciating that I have nausea and then I end up throwing up because I took so much NSAID, and then I'm left in pain because I still have the pain. Now I can't take NSAID because I just threw it up, and I'm
Wow.
I'm just like rolling on the floor crying. So it was bad times, and I don't want anybody else to go through that. So that is really like my main passion, to help somebody else, come out of that. But there's another way, naturally, with food that we eat.
Yeah, and you have done it for yourself, so you know how to help others now.
Yes, yes. Put time and effort and money to study, and so I'm ready to help somebody else out there. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So that with that being said, I have the presentation up. Are you able to see it on our screen?
Yeah, I can see it. See what comments are saying.
Awesome.
I see there's some comments. I don't know. Some people are saying.
Yeah, we got a lot of people here. We have our partner Nana saying hello. Everyone's saying
Hi,
they're
Nana.
waiting. Awesome. So I pulled up the presentation, Dr. Didi, and how to detox your waste away. And we're going to talk about 11 signs that, we should be paying attention to right away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So let me make sure. Okay. So let me make sure I can navigate through the presentation. All right, so let's go through the whole presentation together real quick. We have, let me make sure I'm on the right screen. Okay, all right. So you said you might not want to hear this, but initially feeling bad is a good thing. When eliminating inflammatory processed foods, stop feeding your body the garbage and chemicals your body goes to withdraw, like drugs or alcohol. And it is good because it means you are on your way to getting clean.
Yep.
That's coming from Mark Hyman.
Mm-hmm. So sometimes when you get those signs, don't ignore them. It means your body is telling you something. So be more sensitive to what's going on.
Yeah, our body is so intuitive, and it's so, what do we call it? It's like a messenger
Like a
system.
machine, right?
Yeah,
It's like a
I think we
machine.
treat it like a machine, but it's
We
not a
treat.
machine.
I think it also acts like it has its steps. Like if something is broken, something else go. It has its own SOPs. Now I'm using language that's kind of like more entrepreneurial, but it has its own, like, if this is broken, this happens. But it's going to get to a point where we're not going to be able to keep leveraging. We just have to break down sometimes, and then you fix it.
Absolutely. So, what are the 11 signs that we want to talk about, Dr. I am? I'm going to pull the next slide, which is, let's go through it together. We already talked about constipation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Constipation, brain fog, stagnant weight that's
Yeah.
not moving,
Mm-hmm.
bloating,
Bloating.
fatigue, skin problems like
yeah.
eczema, acne, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bad food cravings, like people can't understand why they're always craving like sugar or
Yeah.
simple carbs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bad
But
smelling breath. I think
yeah.
we can combine the bad breath with even body odor. That
Oh yeah. Yeah.
insomnia, headaches, and major gut issues, right? Like burping, belching, bloating, um, like stomach pain after eating, usually like signs of having ulcers, right?
Yeah. Oh, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Oh, yeah.
Wow. So these are all the signs. And do you feel that people tend to ignore them?
Oh yeah, it's like normal. Like for me, for a long time, I always used to have like bad heartburns and like indigestion anytime I eat or eat some certain things. And for me, it just became like a normal like, okay, it's normal. But then as I read further, I'm like, oh, it must be something. Maybe my body is sensitive to some certain foods that become like very toxic in my body when I eat it. And it might go with like genomics and genes or whatever. If I eat, let's say, maybe caffeine, or if I drink caffeine or anything that had caffeine in it, my genes don't make me stay awake. They actually make me go to sleep with caffeine. But somebody else's genes, maybe it actually keeps them up. So for me, I went out when I would have like those heartburns and stuff like that. I thought it was normal, but then as I read further, studying functional medicine, I'm like, oh, it's not normal. There's actually something my body is trying to tell me. So these days, I'm very sensitive to like foods and things I put in my body. So yeah.
You have to be, right? Like,
Mhm.
don't you think we should have done that from the beginning and we
Oh
wouldn't
yeah.
have had all the health problems we went through?
Oh yeah, definitely. And even like around me when I see, some family members or people and those symptoms, I recognize them and I call it out. And they're like, "Oh, I've been having it for a long time." And you see them drinking the coffee or like the thing causing it and you're like, "You're not supposed to." You're like, "Oh, something's going to kill a man. I'll die one day. It doesn't matter whatever." I'm like, "Hey,
Right.
you have
People
like a
talk
better
like
life."
that.
Yeah. So,
But what about when you're alive and living like a zombie?
and visiting doctors, twice or three times a month because of that is crazy. So yeah.
Absolutely. So, we have this slide that talks about difficulty in detoxing.
Hmm.
Um, what would you like to put some light on that with?
Yeah, this is the main point. Like, every new year, there's a lot of people in America that are like, this is the year where I lose the weight, and they have all these goals and then they never make it. Maybe they start off, going to the gym, trying to eat very clean, and then they can't keep up with it. Either they're slow, they're sluggish, they feel very tired and fatigued because your body is going through a process of withdrawal. So like people who are on drugs, like when they have that whole I'm gonna get off drugs and stop smoking or whatever, and then your body just starts calling you. You don't see those things as an addiction, but it is an addiction, right? So you have mood swings, you start feeling depressed or have anxiety because you're trying to detox and you're like, man, this is making me so hungry. I can't keep up. I can't focus in the daytime. I'm going
And then
back to
we
what I
end up
used to.
eating wrong foods, right? In the
Exactly.
middle of all that.
Exactly. So the point is, to give yourself some time, be patient. It actually takes like about 7 days. Give your body 7 days to get used to it, and then you see after you've actually gone through the whole process of detoxing and cleaning out your body that you start getting used to this kind of way of life. So you definitely want to exercise during that time, stretch, do some meditation, some yoga. Sorry. Drink a lot of water. And don't just drink water to like there's a process to drinking water, right? Drink when you're thirsty, but drink enough water. Don't just like forget to drink water the whole day and then try to drink a whole gallon of water at one time, because what you're going to do is dilute your electrolyte. Your electrolytes in your body is going to be off, which is not good for you as well. So I have astigmatism, so I can't really breathe because it's so little. But
Oh,
also,
yeah. So ease into your detox,
mhm.
replace cravings with healthy options. So basically, keeping healthy foods at home is what you suggest, right?
Yes, and that's another thing. Like so when if you have a lot of processed foods or sugar, cookies, and stuff like that, you want to clear those out and replace it with like maybe nuts, like almond, cashew, things in the protein family. If you have to take
Or even
something,
like healthy snacks, right? We have
yeah.
seaweed, we have
Oh
these
yeah, I love seaweed.
quinoa chips or
Hmm.
multigrain chips. You could have it with a fresh salsa or guacamole. Like there's so many options. I just feel
Yeah.
that people don't want to make those taste bud changes.
Yeah, it's definitely a taste bud change, and you have to like kind of psych your mind to be like, this is okay. Don't freak out. We don't want to go back there. So for sure. And watch your blood sugar, because that's another thing. We don't want you to like faint, from trying to like be healthy, but you also want to make sure that your blood sugar stays at a normal range so you don't go too low when you're trying to make these changes.
Absolutely. So, moving forward to our next slide, we want to talk about basically what should you do.
Yeah.
So
And
you're a big
so,
advocate of fasting.
hmm
You've listed water fast, dry fast, intermittent fast, if you want to break that down to our people.
yeah. So, some people, and it might be a religious thing, and some people just do it as a normal way of, like, losing weight or detoxing. So actually, if you there's water fast. So water fast is where the only thing you put in your mouth is water. So you give yourself, if you're doing water, if you have a day span of doing this kind of fasting or hours, the only thing they do is just drink pure water, nothing else. And then dry fast is where they eat nothing, no water, no food. And this is mostly like more. I recognize this from, like, my religious background. So there are certain times where it's like, oh, we're going fasting, and you can't eat anything from this hours to this hours until you break. And even when you break with fruits, not fries or rice or, like, crappy stuff. But so even in that aspect, it also gives you an idea of, like, there's an understanding of how your body takes certain things. You don't just want to shock it and be like, start putting crap back in your body. So you break it with food, fruits, and which cleanses out your body, and then it can receive anything else. And then intermittent fasting is pretty much like you tell yourself, okay, from this hours to this hours I eat, and the other hours nothing else. So people usually do that for like 8 hours. So they choose a certain 8 hour time frame that works for them in the day, and outside of those hours they don't eat anything. So some people do, well, it depends on the person. I've seen people do like 11 a.m. to like maybe 7 p.m. So those are the only hours they can eat. And even during those hours, you want to still maintain a healthy way of eating that's not too
Right.
crazy. Yeah.
Eating the right things, still making the right choices, still
hmm
kind of spacing it out a little bit, not overeating at any given time, right?
yes, exactly. And another thing is doing this, why this is a process of detoxing, is because you're giving your body time now to regenerate and heal itself. So now it has the chance to, like, push out the garbage that has been there, use whatever leftover energy from fats and sources, and it cleanses out your body. So when next you put food or anything else in your body, you're starting on a clean slate. So that's one way, fasting. If you could try that. The other way is fruits and vegetables. So that means all you eating during that time frame, it's fruits and vegetables. But be careful if you're using fruits. Be careful of the kind of fruits you use in regards to, like, sugars that come from the fruit. You kind of want to be sensitive towards that. But definitely that's another option of detoxing. I know, Nancy, you use a lot of vegetables and you like those smoothies and all the stuff with.
Yeah, you've seen me, right? Like I'm always drinking green juice and a matcha, right?
hmm
We went to this place in Grapevine or somewhere, no, Sugarland, and we
Yeah.
had matcha. So matcha is great for detox too. And then you shouldn't be putting sugar into it. That's the
Oh yeah.
biggest problem. People load it all up with sugar. So
hmm
we have the fruit and veggie detox, water fasting, smoothie detox,
Smoothies. Yeah.
right? So
hmm
green smoothie is what you suggest.
hmm Yeah. And if people, because I know some people are, for people who go through the sugar craving, maybe you want to replace your refined sugars, that's like white sugar. You want to replace that with like honey or monk fruit. Or people who can, if they need to, like, take like sweeteners, stevia will be the best option compared to anything else. So
Nice.
those are the options for sweeteners.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So.
then even maple syrup is full of
Oh
antioxidants.
yeah, raw maple syrup, yeah, raw honey, yeah, organic.
Raw
hmm
honey, raw maple syrup, like the original maple syrup, not the commercial ones that are just
Yeah,
water,
exactly. hmm
color, and lots of high fructose corn syrup.
hmm
So juice cleanse. So basically, what do you suggest with juice cleanses?
So juice cleanses are just, so for people who don't really like the smoothie, they could do a juice cleanse where it's like you, either are blending or making your own juices from home. So there are certain ways where, some people, either they like squeezing the juice out of the fruit and they drink that, or they're blending it with citrus like oranges and lemons, limes, different things like that. And they just get just the juice, not the fiber or the pulp or anything, just the juice. And because some not everybody likes the whole, the thickness of like vegetables and certain kind of fruits when you blend everything as a smoothie
It's
or
not
with
for
milk.
everyone, I agree.
Yeah, so some people might prefer doing juice. Just make sure if you're doing juice, it's better to make your own from scratch. Some people buy from the stores, but those store brands that are juices, they're packed with a lot of sugar, so you have to be very careful when you're doing
But
that.
yeah, that's the biggest problem, right? Like people think that they're drinking orange juice or apple juice that they've picked up, but
Hmm.
the little that they know that it's actually very toxic for them because of all the sugar and preservatives in it.
Yeah.
And we're literally loading our body with unnecessary chemicals that are going to be
Hmm.
really hard to remove eventually,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Hmm.
So sugar detox. I've been on a sugar detox, Dr. Didi, for about 14 years now.
Ooh, that is good. Good job, man. You're better than me. High five. That is
I had
amazing.
to, Dr. Didi, I had to because I got so sick from sugar. So I would have upper respiratory tract infections, massive
Wow.
acne. I had cavities. My hair
Mm.
was thinning. Like
Mm.
it was like a cocaine addict.
It is. It is actually. It has the same effect as like cocaine. People get addicted to it, and then when you try to stop it, it's like, oh, I need that sugar. Give me that sugar. So yeah, it's crazy.
You know
So,
it. You know it.
what do you use in place of sugar for other people that are out there that are like, man, can I cut out sugar? And how do you get through that phase of like the need for sugar?
So in the beginning, it's a little bit harder, but if you keep the right sweeteners on hand, it's easier. So raw honey and
Hmm.
raw maple,
Yeah,
like
I
real
love raw honey.
maple.
That's my
Yeah,
go-to.
I have that on me all the time. And
Hmm.
then I also buy small raw honey packets, so I keep it in my purse. So I guess I'm well prepared for my sugar
Mm.
cravings. And then I read every single label, and everywhere I go, I ask them if there's sugar in it, if there's sugar in it, there's sugar in it, sugar.
Yeah.
Like first question, is there sugar in this? Like
Hmm.
that's how I have to operate. And people get sometimes like worked up, like, oh, this lady, like, I don't care. It's my
Yeah.
body, and you have to answer it. If you don't know the answer, I'm not your customer because,
Exactly.
like, I don't want to get sick,
Hmm. Yeah. No,
right?
that's true. And you know a funny thing, I've become more sensitive to reading labels now. So now, normally, if I go grocery shopping, maybe it could take me an hour. Now it takes me like 2 hours because I'm over there reading labels. And if you go on my video, if you follow
You
me on
pretty much
LinkedIn,
can buy majority of
exactly.
the things, right? Like
If you follow,
90% of the things you can't even buy.
it's crazy. And if you follow me on LinkedIn, I have a lot of videos where I'm in the store, like looking at labels and stuff like that. But like, it's funny because I was in the store, like looking at it, and people are looking at me funny, like, yeah, y'all can learn a little bit from me. Don't buy that. Listen to me, And I'm like, yeah. So it's an
But
interesting.
knowledge is power, right, Dr.
Yeah,
Didi?
knowledge is power. It's an interesting experience because originally I come from Nigeria, and Nigeria we don't sell like so many processed food. Maybe it's changing now, but back in the day when I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
back
yeah.
there over
That's
18 years
just
ago, like you
cooking
buy
up
fruits is like straight from either they're getting it straight from the tree. It's not any modified seeds or anything. It's like natural, so you don't have to do
all
all of that.
natural.
Everything is all the animals
Yeah, we
are.
go to the
Yep,
markets and we bargain and pick up fresh fruits
exactly.
that are non-GMO.
Yeah,
Nothing has to be labeled
nothing has to be
organic
labeled.
because it's all organic, and
Hmm.
you could tell from the quality because it's not blown up, like, looking extra big or stuff like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah. So
Cool.
definitely
So a
different.
lot of things I think our people are learning and they're really enjoying this. I might have to have you come back.
Let's do it. I see a
Let's
lot of
do it.
questions in the thing, so yeah.
Yeah, we have some great doctors on here, and they're loving it. So, teas, supplements, moderate exercising, meditating, and then
Yeah.
emotional detox too, right, Dr. Didi? Like, what's your
Mm.
take on that?
Oh my goodness. I totally believe that relationships you keep around you with people could also put you in a funk. Being in like a bad working environment. I've been in several working environments which every morning when I wake up and it was time for me to go to work, I didn't want to go to work because I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna see this person again. It's gonna be they talk like this, that. I don't want to be in that kind of, And then you go there in the presence of those kind of people, and your energy is just drained. Like you feel it,
Yeah, yeah. Suddenly you're completely out of energy because of the way they make you feel or the things that they say, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you can choose to push it. The way I've come through those kind of relationships was just meditation and prayers, honestly. I'm not even gonna lie. Because as far as you remain in that environment, you don't have any other option than you have to own your own authority and own your own mental state. And the only way you could do that is just becoming the bigger person, not giving into that energy that they want you to give
Yeah.
into. Which
You're really
always will
good
make
at
them
that.
mad when they see that you have that power, when you overcome it, and and nothing they say triggers you anymore, and they get more angry, and they try to find other ways to penetrate your
Yeah. So
yeah.
emotional detox is huge, and then that's
Hmm.
why you meditate and pray. What's your take on supplements? You have a great supplement line that you support.
Yes.
Um, I have put your Calendly link, will the one with our functional wellness network one, but I've also
Yes.
put your LinkedIn link so people can reach out to you and you could start helping these people.
Yes, for sure. Y'all connect with me, reach out, DM me if you have questions. Really appreciate it. So, yeah, what was the question again? Supplements,
Well, the
yes. So,
question was that you have a great line that you support,
mhm.
and why is that you support a certain brand over another one?
Yeah, so one of the important things with detoxing is making sure that you're doing it in the natural way, because the point of detoxing is to remove chemicals and toxins. So, me and Massey were partnered with organization called Pharmanex. They are the only people that I could 100% back. We've been to their labs, we've met the scientists, we've been on ground, seeing how these things are made. So we trust them, and they source from all over the earth with the natural ingredients. So if it's supposed to be ginseng, they go straight to the source where ginseng is supposed to be grown and get those fresh, pure, organic, things that are needed to make the supplements. Now there are supplements that people get from the stores. They get a whole bunch. I see people taking like 10 at a time. And then when I scan them, because remember I talked about we have the scanner to check people's nutrients, they're very poor. So some of those supplements in the stores, they're made with like things that are crap that don't do anything for us. They have molds in them. People don't know what they're taking. But with this supplement organization, Pharmanex, it's backed by it's in the physician's dex reference. So it's the only one. They put a whole lot of money every year to do research on supplements. Any Joe Blow on the street could, put some things together and be like, hey, I'm selling vitamin A, B, C, what come buy from me. But you don't know what's in there. You don't know if they mix it with some kind of moldy stuff in their home. But with them, they put so much effort and so much money into this, millions of dollars researching. So I know it's pure, I know it's organic. I've used it myself. Even during my pregnancy, I was taking the supplements, and I had a big old baby. I was healthy. My baby was
What,
healthy throughout the
like, I know
pregnancy.
you went through anemia and then got on Pharmanex
Oh yeah,
supplements.
yeah. So
Um,
during my pregnancy, my iron was low to the point that I became anemic, and immediately they were like, "Oh, go get some iron supplement." I was like, "Nah, there's only one company I know I want to get iron from." So I got the iron from them, which I've never seen any chewable iron tablet before. They have it. So I took that iron. I took like twice the dose of what I was even supposed to take because my iron was so low. And before you knew it, my OBGYN was like, "You're good to go. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Don't change." So, I
wow,
stand by
powerful.
then. Yeah, powerful, very powerful.
And your baby's so healthy, and doctors
He
are blown
is.
away.
Yeah, because doctors, they first thought he was maybe diabetic, or if I was diabetic. In fact, for like a whole week towards the end of my pregnancy, I had to keep checking my blood sugar because they thought I was, probably diabetic or doing something. I passed my glucose test. I wasn't diabetic. My blood sugar was, not high. But and then when I gave birth, my baby, they were like, "Oh, we need to keep checking his blood sugar for the first 24 hours," and there was nothing. So he was just a big baby. I was like, "Hey, I had those pure supplements. Go ahead and get you
Yeah.
some."
Yeah,
So
and you
yeah.
had a good pregnancy. I mean, I know before you started taking the supplements, you were kind of struggling a little bit, and then things changed big time. Like we met during your almost your last month, you know, we
Mm-hmm.
hung out and you came
Yeah.
out, and that was powerful to see. And I think our personal journey and what has
Mm-hmm.
happened with us has been really powerful, and that has led us to where we are today.
Oh yeah, 100% agree. 100%. Yeah.
Wow. So, closing thoughts for our people.
Closing thought. Really, I hope everybody took something from this. I'm glad that we have the chance to present this at the top of the year, because detoxing and cleansing is on the top of everybody's mind, or most people. And so there's a system to it. If you've been trying to cleanse and detox every single year and you've never gotten a hang of it, or you're still in the same, you know, whatever it is, your weight or whatever it is at the end of the year, there's a system to it. So hopefully you learned something from us today. Do it the right way. And if you don't know what you're doing, then reach out to us. Reach out to myself, reach out to Nancy. I would definitely lead you in
Absolutely.
the right path.
Yeah, I would love for people to reach out to you and book a call. If I get any of the appointments through Functional Wellness Network, I'll forward it to you. But your LinkedIn link is here, so people can DM you directly.
Yes.
That'd be the best way to get a hold of you.
Yes, I respond very fast on direct message. You can DM me, book a call. I have a free 15-minute consultation for wellness. So yeah, definitely reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Didi. It's been a
Thank
pleasure,
you. It
and
was a
I will
pleasure.
see you soon sometime.
I know. Thank you. Take care.
Thank
Bye,
you. Take
everyone.
care. Bye, everyone.